Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a card project for you. If you check out my blog or my YouTube channel today, you'll see a bonus video, and it is basically showing you how I created this silhouette cut here. I made it kind of a print and cut out of a regular cut file. Basically, I wanted to add this holly jolly Christmas sentiment to the bottom of this Polaroid frame, and I didn't have a stamp that was the sentiment that I wanted, so there is a video on how I created this, but I just wanted to point that out. And so this is the cut that I'll be using along with some other silhouette cuts, and I'll just get started. I have a crumb cake base here, card base here, and I'm going to be stamping that with this Cover Card Impression Obsession music background stamp. So I'll just pull that out. And when I use these big, large background stamps, I use them just directly flat on my surface. So I'll take it here, and I'm just going to use some crumb cake ink from Stampin' Up. It is a tone-on-tone effect that I'm going for on this background stamp. I just wanted something to give it a little texture and a little bit of interest to the background. And so I'll just ink up my stamp really well. Then I'll bring my card base to the stamp itself and lay it on the stamp. And then I'll take this piece of scratch paper here and just cover it and then rub all over it to make sure that I get that ink pressed onto that card base. Okay, so I don't know how well the camera is picking that up, but now I have my music background on my card base, and I can bring this piece back in here. Now I've cut a couple of other things from using my Silhouette software and my Silhouette machine, and one of them is the circle background, and I just resized it so that it would fit directly behind this frame, although I'm not quite sure I'm going to use it. So, and I also have these holly leaves here. So I'm kind of trying to decide whether or not I like this without the circles better. And I kind of like both ways, but I think I'll go ahead and use the circles. So what I'm going to do is I want these to be at two separate layers. So in other words, I want this to float above the background, and then I want this to be another layer above that. So I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive to the outside of this circle background cutout that I have here. And if I do it underneath where this frame is going to land, you won't be able to see it. So that's my plan for that. So I'll just cut my dimensional adhesive into some long, thin strips here, and I can put those around the outside of that circle piece. Okay, so I have my dimensional adhesive applied to that, and before I attach it to the card, because I want to be able to attach this in one big piece, I'm going to go ahead and add another layer of dimensional adhesive around this frame here, and then along the bottom I'm going to add 2 layers of dimensional adhesive so that that will bring that all up to the same level. Before I attach this frame to the circle piece, I'm going to bring my crumb cake ink back in, and I'm going to just add a little bit of distressing or a little bit of inking to the edge of this Polaroid frame. And I am just using, actually this is just a makeup round. So I found that this works just fine for me. Okay, so I have just a little bit of subtle inking around there, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and expose the adhesive on this part of the frame, and I'm going to attach the circle background piece to that. And I think I should probably do this from the front to make sure that all of my dimensional adhesive that I've already placed on this circle piece is covered. And just try to get it in there as straight as I can. Just like that. And then I can expose the adhesive along here, and I think I should have probably put another piece of dimensional adhesive under that part of the circle piece. I'm just going to add a little piece in here so that it won't sag along that edge. So now I have that in there, and then I'm going to expose the rest of this dimensional adhesive. And I'm going to bring it over to my card base and just put it at an angle here. So just like that. So you can see how cool that looks with those circles kind of floating above the card base and then the frame floating over that. It just adds a little more depth to that circle piece than it just sitting flat on the card. I probably should have done this ahead of time, but I'm going to go ahead and add some twine to the top portion of this frame here, to the bottom portion, I should say, of the frame. And this twine is just maraschino twine from the Twinery. And I really do like their twine a lot. I have several colors in it. And I think that'll just go across the bottom there. Maybe wrap it a couple of times. And then as I'm tightening my bow, I like to just hold on the center knot and just kind of pull it into place, you know, kind of make my loop smaller and then tighten it until I get it the size that I want. And then I can go ahead and add my holly leaves here. So these are going to come in from the corner of the frame here. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Tombow Mono Multi-Glue again to adhere my little berries. Okay, and for a final finishing touch, I'm going to bring in these, they're called rhinestones. They don't look anything like rhinestones to me. They are a very dull, kind of flat looking, almost bead. They're not faceted like a rhinestone at all. And I just picked these up at Michael's. And so I thought I would just add these to the berries just to add a little bit, something fun to the bottom of this card. So I'm just going to use these larger red ones. And I'm just going to place them right over the berries that are already there. Okay, and so there is my card today. Super simple to put together. I could see that this would be a really easy card to mass produce, especially since a lot of this is coming from silhouette cuts and a little bit of stamping. So there's not a whole lot of extra supplies to buy other than these little rhinestones that are on the bottom here. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to check out the bonus video on how I created this little frame here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.